الرياضة في مصر عبارة عن كورة، محمد صلاح، وسكواش. كورة عاملة زي الدين، وصلاح زي الفرعون. لكن السكواش هي اللعبة اللي احنا بنكتسح فيها على مستوى عالمي. زي ما البرازيليين مولودين يلعبوا كورة، المصريين مولودين يلعبوا سكواش.
It is a triple world championship for Amr Shabana. The Prince of Cairo has done it.
Ramy Ashour has come back from the dead to steal this world championship.
Sixth world championship. It's Noram Shabini.
ما ينفعش احضنه كده زي البيبي الهادي، لا على طول بيبقى عايز ينزل، عايز يجري، عايز يلعب.
كان طاقة عنده عالية جدا، بيجري كتير، بيلعب كتير، شقي، لكن لما كبر بقى أكثر هدوءا، يعني بقى مركز، بس ما زالت الطاقة كلها راحت في الاسكواش.
Mohamed El Shorbagy, just 17 years old, one of the most exciting prospects in the world of squash. His current world ranking is 86, but I think we can feel confident that that will be changing very soon. He's done it! El Shorbagy has won his first World Series title. It's his first World Series title as world number one. He's nailed another World Series title. Third US Open title. Takes the British Open for the third time. The most prestigious title on the PSA World Tour.
What a tournament from Mohamed El Shorbagy.
I want to be one of the best. I want to be one of the best players who ever played that sport. That's always been my motivation. I want to be one of the greatest players that ever played the sport. That has been always my goal since I was a kid. Whenever I was a kid, someone asked me, what's your goal? I would tell them, I want to do things in this sport that no one ever done.
My brother is... he's a hard person to deal with. If anything is related to squash, he's an asshole. He is an asshole, and he knows it.
Alexandria, I remember we lived in a very small street. We are not like a very, very rich family. We're not a very poor family either. We're a middle-class family. So this is the street it's a small street where I come from, and then this is the entrance of the house. I do remember that because that house was quite small, sometimes living in a small house, it keeps the families really close. This is something that I had when I was a really small kid. So I used to keep my coins, money in it. So I used to just try and save a bit of money, thought I was a bit rich, Me and my brother actually slept in the same room. Together, my brother and myself were always really close. I think part of the reason because we were always together, we did everything together.
He would wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning. He would go to the gym, because the gym was 24 hours open. He would go to the gym till 8 o'clock in the morning, and then go to the squash court.
We used to have 2 beds, actually. These old school wooden beds that on top of each other. So I used to sleep on the one on top, which was really annoying. So I had to go up all the time whenever I went to bed. I kind of miss these times, in a way, as much as I like having my own room when I go back to Egypt now, obviously, and all that. But in a way, living with my brother in the same room, in a way, knowing that the moment I step off outside our room, just a couple of feet away, my parents' room is there, all these things, kind of always made us grow really close with each other. And yeah, it was a lot of happy memories definitely there. Where this stop there is where I used to take the bus to school every single morning at, I think it was 6:30 a.m., 7 a.m. So many memories, but it's great to be back. Remember all these things, definitely. Yep.
Growing up, he had no friends, but he also chose not to have friends. and that did him a big favor in the game itself. He chose this life, he wanted this life.
I have always, whenever I needed to trust someone 100%, I've always gone to my family. Because I've always thought, no matter how, like, same blood, it's hard for someone in the same blood to betray you in a way, you know.
بالإضافة إن محمد يعني كان خجول وهو صغير، يعني حتى خجول في العلاقات اللي هو بالناس اللي في سنه، يعني هي ساعات كانت بتتفهم غلط، بس هو محمد عنده حتة الخجل دي، وممكن يعني مش هقول لغاية دلوقتي، بس هو كشخص عنده حتة الخجل يعني. فما كانش له العلاقات اللي هي بيعملها اللي هو يتقال عليه ده ولد لذيذ، ده ولد دمه خفيف، ده ولد.
I think the reason for that is my first squash coach, Gamal Awad. He told me that from when I was 9 years old, that there are no friends on tour, and if you ever want to be the best player in the world, you have to remember you always have to be selfish. As much as being selfish is not a good quality, but it's such an important quality to have if you want to be the best in the sport. It is lonely, definitely, but it is also lonely at the top. You have 600 professional squash players. One of them is the best player in the world. So one of them is lonely, who is the best player in the world, and the 599 people, other players, are all of them together figuring out how to be that only player. Back in my junior days, all the players I had to play against from Egypt, I was definitely different than them in terms of being friendly, and they were all friendly with each other. I was definitely not the most liked out of them. If not, I was definitely the one hated out of them, really. Do I care whether I feel an outsider or not? No, I don't care, and I never did. First time I met Gamal Awad, he coached a little bit in Smuha, he coached a little bit in Sporting, and you're not allowed to coach private. You're only allowed to coach the players of the club. We had to find a secret court outside the club, and we trained at that secret court for 3 years without anyone knowing, really. Just came back to the court, to that secret court where Gamal Awad coached me for 4 years. And I was shocked, to be honest. Actually, my mom started crying when I came here because this is what made me. Here I am. Actually, everything is still the same. They still have that dot there, so obviously whenever it rains, you can see that it drops from the top there. And actually, that's what used to happen. I used to actually wish for rainy days whenever I had sessions with Gamal Awad, because I knew that I couldn't train at the court because I knew the rain would drop at the court. And he would still find a way to make me train. He would actually make me do Boston drive, and make me run around the raindrops, you know.
And I used to see those sessions, and he would train for 2 hours on the squash court. It was hard sessions, but he is the reason that of his personality on court. He built that character of him.
I was actually with him on the phone an hour before he died as well. I was that close to him, actually. I was 13 or 12 years old when he died. Just wish I could call him today and just thank him for everything he did for me, because I am known as a squash player as someone who is hard-nosed, who is strong mentally. That's what I'm known for on tour. And he is the guy, he is the person who did this for me, who knew how to make me like that.
لا هو عطاله كتير الحقيقة. كان دايما في كلمة مشهورة جدا عنده، كان دايما يقولها لمحمد، يقول له انت عشان تبقى بطل لازم تاكل سكواش، تنام سكواش، تشرب سكواش، حياتك كلها تبقى سكواش. فبالتالي دي كانت حياة محمد تقريبا، مش عايزة أقول لغاية دلوقتي بس تقريبا يعني.
He used to tell me that everything I'm gonna put you through right now is gonna stay with you forever. I'm making you tough. He used to tell me this when I was 9. There is so much emotions. Just being here, you just remember everything. Here is my mom. She just can't believe that we're back, you know. I'm sorry. Yeah, if I could just have him right now, you know, and just call him and show him all the stuff I already did, and I'm still trying to achieve even more, you know. I would love to, but But hopefully he's up there proud watching me and proud of all the stuff I've done so far. All my life I always hated nothing other than being the number one. I hate losing. I really hate losing more than anything. I hate being the world number two. I hate being anything other than number one. I got knocked off it because I didn't play the events in Egypt, and not because someone played better than me. I cannot wait to get on court and beat everyone. I've watched all these events happening in Egypt the end of last season, knowing that I'm fit enough, knowing that I can play, but I couldn't go back to Egypt to play the events, and that made me really angry and motivated even more. I've given you guys an opportunity for a few months, but I'm coming back to take that all away from the game, just like the usual, and I cannot wait to go back again. You know, and I made sure I have to be emotionless if I want to come back to who I am. I need to come back to beast mode, basically.
Ali Farag has made squash history. Another tournament on his resume, the new world number one, putting some distance between himself and Mohammed El-Shorbagy. Farag's done it. Absolutely brilliant effort from Farag.
I can easily sit here and say that I lost it because I didn't play the events in Egypt. I can say so many excuses, but right now Ali is the world number one, and I have to face that fact that he got there, and he is right now the best player in the world. He knows very well what's coming to him next season. He knows how much I was sitting home watching him play, thinking about counting the days till I get on court with him. If he's gonna take me out, he will have to bring something that he has never had before, because I hated the way I lost this world number one this way. I hated that it was out of my control. I want to come back to be the king of the jungle again.
Mohammed and I could not be any more different. Mohammed lives for his squash, right? He wants to be in the history books. He wants to be the greatest of all time. I do not care at all about this. What defines who I am again is becoming good to my wife, becoming good to my daughter, and it's not philosophical, I promise. There is so much more to life than just squash. If we were to quantify the happiness out of 10, I think 9 out of 10 for Mohammed depends on his squash. For me, 4 or 5 out of 10. Is there a right or wrong? No, some people might think he's better, some people think I'm better, and this is the beauty of life as well, you know, people perceive things differently, but I don't think there is anything other than our mental toughness that is common between us. He would do anything, like he breathes squash, he wakes up for squash, he goes to bed for squash, he's got nothing to do but squash in his life, and this is something I admire big time about him, how he's able to do that for so many years. He's very honest, he's got nothing to hide, but he is very aggressive, and he would do whatever it takes to win. I'm a very image conscious person. I hate to look bad, and it plays in my head big time. I like if I do something wrong, or if someone perceives that I'm doing something wrong, even if I didn't, it would not make me sleep at night.
Ali is definitely one of the greatest players that played in my generation. I would say we are the two best players of our own generation.
I had a big goal during the pandemic to regain that world number one spot, winning the world championship against the biggest rival of my career and the world number two, the more difficult something is, the more exciting it is, right? So it's, yes, my ultimate dream would be to beat Mohammed in a final.
Men's final match. Mohammed El-Shorbagy of Egypt to serve, Marwan El-Shorbagy of Egypt to receive.
Well, history's been made. Two brothers playing each other in a World Championship final in squash has never happened. So the error coming from Marwan.
Championship ball.
Well, we've got 4 championship balls for Mohammed Al-Shabagi, his 3rd final. He's done it.
11-6. Up to Mohammed. 3 games to 2. 11-5, 9-11, 11-7, 9-11, 11-6.
Actually, my brother doesn't think that training with me is a very good thing. He doesn't think that the training with me is hard enough.
So I'm not sure if I like training with him. Like back in the day, we used to play every day or every 2 days. But now it's quite hard to play every day.
Like is often the case with brothers, they're very different actually. They learn completely differently. They operate very differently socially. But obviously both highly successful.
You know, you're doing the documentary for him in the wrong season. The season that I'm about to win anyway. Should have filmed me, not him. We both like the feeling of the competition. We like the aggressive part of the competition. It's a war for both of us.
Each one of us wants to make this his time.
His time.
Yeah.
Okay, it's always his time.
Yeah, but
I want it to be my time for once. This is still intense, but we don't argue as much, you know. This is the easy part, but in matches and competitions, that's the tough part. This is the question, how do we manage that?
It's normal that brothers fight. So imagine that sometimes we would have had a fight before an event, for example, and then we have to play each other when we are not in that much good terms, you know?
You know what? World Championship in Qatar, we're not even talking to each other. Yeah. We would see each other, we won't even look at each other's eyes.
This is obviously prime health food.
We're still human beings before being athletes.
Do you have a cheat day?
Every day.
I do have the opportunity to play for England. It is hard knowing that England is one of the rival countries to Egypt. I'm actually applying for my citizenship actually tonight.
Have you two guys talked about the potential switch?
Talk is funny, look at me like it's fine.
No,
it's fine. Talk is fine.
Well, I mean, he's gonna do it.
My brother doesn't agree with it though.
He's gonna do it either way. So
Why do you think that though?
So I don't advise him. I don't advise him against it because whatever I say, he's gonna do it. Because the way he will look at it, you know, he will look at it from a different way. I understand the reasons, his reasons. I just wouldn't do it.
He just worries for me, my brother. My brother just worries for me as well.
No.
You not worried for me?
I don't think he should do it anyway. It's not about worrying, I just don't think. I don't agree with the decision. I personally don't agree with the decision. I wouldn't do it. But I didn't go through what he went through in Egypt as well. You know, I didn't feel what he felt, and I didn't live what he lived. You know, I've seen it, but he was, for me, my brother with numbers, he's the greatest Egyptian player of all time.
No. I know that you don't agree with it.
I've always felt home in England, But when I go back to Egypt, when I go to my home, it's my home. It's where I was raised. It's where I grew up. It's where I am from. You know, I lived in England for 14 years. I can't even have a British accent.
You're trying.
It's a tough decision, you know. It's a very tough decision, but it's a decision that you cannot go back. You cannot go back. So play it safe. I think my brother will end up playing for England. I think he will. Like, when my parents speak to me about it, and I've always been against the idea. Recently, but I always tell my parents he's gonna do it. You know, he's gonna do it, and I know him. He's gonna do it. I know him very well. He is gonna do it.
Why do you think I'm going to do it though? Why are you so sure that I'm going to do it?
It's like a revenge. It's like a fucking revenge for you. It's like I'm gonna take the world #1 spot from Egypt, and it's like it's a new challenge. It's a challenge.
It's a challenge. It's a tough challenge. It's gonna be a tough challenge too.
I'm looking for the challenge more than anything. And I'm just trying to tell you it's bigger than that. That's why I don't do it. But you're doing it for the wrong reasons. That's what I think. We're having conversations, but I keep telling my parents it's a waste of conversations. He is gonna do it. I know him.
I told him if I have the chance to win another world champion in my career, I definitely don't wanna win it when I'm playing for Egypt. I told him this, and it's sad that I'm saying this, and this is how I feel. I told him, why do I need to give Egypt and the Egyptian Federation another world champ? Why? Like they have got so much out of me over the years. For me, I have nothing to lose. Literally, what am I gonna lose? I want to change, and I want to beat all the Egyptians. That's literally what I want to do. Actually, I want to change and beat all the Egyptians, and I want to get to that goal #1, being not Egyptian. I'm not doing it for the challenge. I'm doing it to respect my own self. Like maybe my brother, because he knows me so well, he knows the decision I'm gonna get to at the end. But maybe he knows that decision. He knows the decision I'm gonna finally get to more than me. I'm more favorable of playing for England, definitely. But
his heart is 100% to do it.
But
his mind is 50-50.
100%. Yeah, that's exactly. My brother exactly put it exactly right, actually.
See, I understand.
Yeah, exactly. Like my heart is telling me definitely to do it.
Of course.
Yeah.
His heart is.
But my mind is the one that's stopping me a little bit.
A little bit.
But let's see what's gonna happen. To be honest.
My dad is pissed off. He's pissed off for you. You know, like it's like this is not right. You know, and he kind of. So I'm not sure whether it's like an angry moment when he said, "Oh, you should do it," but my mom is definitely not with it. You know, it's like she's trying to do things that make him not take that decision.
If I play for England, that doesn't mean I'm not Egyptian. I'm choosing to play for England. I'm not saying that I'm not Egyptian. There is a difference.
لا مش هبقى متضايقة طبعا. لا يعني هو قراره. يعني أنا مش رافضة إن هو يلعب باسم إنجلترا. يعني مش رافضة. بس هو القرار صعب. يعني هو القرار مش سهل إن هو يتاخد. لكن مش معنى كده إن أنا هبقى متضايقة أو رافضة. لا يعني هو إحنا لو فكرنا بالعقل
فأنا بالعكس أنا سبورت جدا لمحمد إذا هو فكر إنه يلعب باسم إنجلترا. إن هو هيتأثر على تاريخه. بل بالعكس ده احترام للمكان اللي هو قضى فيه جزء كبير جدا من عمره.
It's the pressure of the camera. Very good. You get a bit tired and then you start rushing, make bad decisions. They're banking on that. Exactly. It's not healthy to bottle stuff. Eventually, it gets you.
I don't know what today was happening, to be honest. I feel emotional.
Correct.
Okay.
I don't know why. I feel emotionally a bit weak.
Okay.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
I don't know if the tournament is coming up or not, but like I feel like I don't know. I just feel not right.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to push myself. I'm trying, but
yeah.
Not just about myself getting. Like I know I'm tired, but it's fine. This is fine.
Yeah,
I can
absolutely.
push through that.
Yeah,
but,
we know that.
It's just I don't know. I feel emotionally.
Yeah.
I want to cry. I'm not out of confidence.
No.
I'm just feeling fragile.
Yeah. You know, to be honest as well, this is a normal transition to make at this stage of your life into your 30s, because you're not that. You can sort of always feel Marwan's sort of in a weird transition at the moment, but that kind of like that 20s patch is just like I'm fucking king of the world, nothing can stop me, I'm Superman and I'm invincible and life's great. And then you get older and of course you change.
You stay strong, then you break at some point.
Yeah, completely.
Today I don't feel like I'm breaking.
Yeah.
Right now I'm forgetting how it was like to win.
Yeah.
Because I haven't had it in so long, because I haven't been playing.
Yeah. For you to really play your best, we need you playing without fear and disruption.
I'm going in a few days, it's always shit there. Things always happen the way it's always discussed again.
Yeah. It's absolutely fine to feel fragile, even for you. And the test for you is, when all that's going on, can you still go, okay, I can't control any of those things. I can't control Egypt, I can't control whether I'm going to win or not, I can't control all these outside factors. What you can control is the quality of your performance.
Haman! Simran. محمد بعدين يعني ايه ده؟ So I'm 2 love down, out of focus, and you're 2 love up, 1 love in the third game, and you give me a cheap point like that. Like, if you give me a cheap point like this, you're basically telling me you're giving me a chance to come back in the match, even if it's just 1 point. Such a weak error. What did you tell me? Did you tell me shot? Did you tell me good shot? Ah. Thanks. Good ball. Thank you.
But I kind of had to force the conversation about going back to Egypt to compete. What is going to be the biggest obstacle in our way of success here? It's going to be Egypt. Okay, we need to shift that relationship right now before you get on the plane.
Shit. Just I felt like I want to explode. I just want to explode today. I think the whole thing about going to play there, the humidity, the hot conditions, everything about this tournament is never pleasant. Not the most pleasant tournament, let's say. But I still need to find a way to get the job done. You can enjoy the world number one for a few more months.
Yeah, exactly.
You can enjoy it for a few more months.
Yeah.
The sport needs a proper world number one. He's not a proper world number one.
You need to go show them that.
Yeah. So I'm in Dubai airport having a transit right now, just before I go back to Egypt for the first time since June 2019. Basically, if you have a brother in Egypt, then you are forced to join the army. It's not a choice. So I had to make a decision whether this is what I want to do, or do I want to be outside Egypt in England, stay where I live in England and be able to compete around the whole world. I was convinced that athletes like me, athletes who are exceptional in what they do in Egypt, there should have been an exception for them. and I was not happy that there was no exception that happened for me or for the other athletes. Right now, I'm gonna go back. This is the first time. I'm nervous because I don't know what's gonna happen the moment I arrive to Egypt. I don't know if there'll be police waiting for me, taking me straight to prison or not. Just touching down, and we just did. So here I am, back to Egypt. Just walking Cairo airport right now. This is actually the most nervous in my life I have been to get inside the country. Let's see what's gonna happen. Shukran. So I literally just went out of the airport, and look who's here. My dad. Here I am. I am doing my first step to finish the whole whole issue I have with the military service. So first step is doing my biometrics. The only person, obviously, the one that has been coming with me all my life everywhere is, of course, my mom beside me here. And yeah, always been with me everywhere. Today, that's when they will let me know my date, the date that I have to go. That's where I will be paying the fine, which will be the last step. But obviously beside me here is my mother. She's always driving me, you know, always with me everywhere, whether I'm training or going everywhere, you know. So yeah, it's nice that I have some great company here with me. She has been with me every step of the way since I was a kid. And I mean, she still sees me as a kid. At the beginning of my career, my mom was the one who used to travel with me everywhere. She used to be the one who I always wanted to help me in between games.
Of course, me and my mom are so close to each other, but in squash, my brother and my mom, they were so close.
فكانت الناس ساعات بتستغرب ان انا ببقى قريبة منه كده قوي، ازاي هو العلاقة بيني وبينه يعني ما بتعتبرش ما بين ولد ومامته، لا بتعتبر كأنها ما بين لاعب والكوتش بتاعه.
فبالتالي انا بيني وبين بسمة كل يوم تليفون ساعتين 3 ساعات، بنتفق على كل شيء وبنعمل كل شيء. لكن الحقيقة الشخص الأكتف كان بسمة، هي اللي كان هي مع الأولاد باستمرار، هي اللي تحدث التمرين باستمرار.
My mom always felt like she was always my bodyguard in tournaments. She always protected me.
هو الحقيقة يعني أنا طبيعة شخصيتي لما بدخل في حاجة بحب أنجح فيها، يعني سواء كنت في الدراسة سواء في عمل. أنا بالنسبة لي لما اتجوزت واشتغلت سنة كمهندسة برضو، بس لقيت إن الأفضل إن أنا أتفرغ لأولادي، وكان نجاحهم ده شيء مهم ليا، يعني لأن نجاحهم هو نجاح ليا.
My brother, I think, used to look to my mom after each point. They had like a chemistry. My mom had that successful face, and my brother had that face as well, you know.
She gets really nervous when she watches me play. If she watches some of the matches I played, you know, my mom moves more than I move on court, actually, you know. She's moving, watching me moving even more of court. All these things, you know, it's she's a very, very special person. We are quite the opposite to what actually people think of us. You know, people think of us as rough, hard, you know, when they see us during tournaments and during matches, but we are actually, this is kind of more of the poker face during tournaments.
It's the first event of 2021 and the first time we'll see Mohammed El Shorbagy competing on Egyptian soil for almost 2 years.
I think when I was 8-1 up in the third
someone in the crowd said in Arabic with a high voice, welcome back to Egypt. I could hear in his voice how much he meant it. I took a moment and just went and walked to the front of the court. It took a minute to gather my thoughts because I felt like it did really feel emotional.
Having a little moment there, Shibagi.
With the relationship I have and with everything that happened to me here, to hear this and to feel the appreciation and to feel that someone actually, the way he said it was like, welcome back, we missed watching you.
Well, El Shibagi is in fine form. He's cruised through his first 2 matches, but here he faces his first real physical challenge tonight against the Welshman, Joel Makin.
What a shot. Lovely squash.
Oh, it's another error from El Shibagi.
I've never seen him in this amount of errors.
No.
At times he looks exhausted physically.
Certainly not looking himself on that.
Shibagi's either cramping or he's injured. He's got it.
Wow.
Unbelievable there. Joel Makin.
10-12, 11-3, 11-6.
Massive battle.
So it's after 2 a.m. here in Egypt right now. Yes, first tournament hasn't gone as planned. Joel Makin played really well, got me 13-11 in the 5th. Tough battle. And and then when I lost, once I got out of the club, my mom was waiting for me outside. She knew how disappointed I would be and she obviously wanted to be there for me. She got into the car with me, we drove back to the hotel, got my stuff, and now I'm here in my dad's place in Cairo. Today I wasn't feeling very well from the first point, but I still did put myself into position to have 2 match points, and I couldn't convert them, and that's something I'm gonna look at and see why I did not convert those match points. But if I wanna have a chance at getting to that whole #1 spot back, I need to have a different body language, different intensity, different physicality, and I need my energy and everything to be at its full, really. So I'm gonna definitely have an intense month and a half of training. That's what I'll be working on for Guna.
I think my brother got to a point in his career where he wanted to be on his own, and even to be on his own on court, to just be by himself. And I remember it was hard for my mom to accept that.
But I've always been the person that's willing to do anything to be the best player in the world. Unfortunately, staying away a little bit from my parents and my brother was the way to do it. Till I figure out who I am, she didn't take it very well.
The days that my brother wanted to be on his own and started to push my mom away a little bit, oh man, that was such a hard time. That was such a hard time. My mom couldn't accept that. My brother, the way he probably pushed her, it was kind of by force a bit. It wasn't even, he didn't do it slowly. Like, see, this is the selfish part.
And I knew one day or another my mom was gonna understand that I did this actually, not just for me, but for the work you have done all your life with me. You would have never wanted to come to see me losing. You wanted the best, you always wanted to see me winning.
يعني أنا في الآخر مش مدربة ليه أو مش مدرب ليه، فبالتالي بالعكس احنا قعدنا وفكرنا يعني ايه المدرب اللي المفروض يروح في الوقت دوت وتناقشنا وكده يعني، لكن ما بالنسبة لي عادي يعني، ما كانش فيها مضايقة يعني.
I was very selfish that period. Am I proud as a human being of what I did that period? No. Is that what I needed to do as a squash player to come back to the top? Yes.
Few people are like Mohammed, few parents are like Basma. The levels of commitment, and it's a whole lifetime from what I can see from Basma that she has put into her boys, and I mean a massive part of it. Absolutely massive.
يعني هم صغيرين، يعني أنا فكرت إن هم يلعبوا رياضة أصلاً على أساس إن هو يطلع إنسان سوي، إنسان مسلم سوي. أتمنى إن هو يبقى كده، يعني دي كانت أمنيتي، إن أكتر من إن هو يبقى بطل إن هو يبقى إنسان سوي. فلو هي اتحققت الاتنين، إن هو بقى بطل وإنسان سوي، أكيد أنا هكون سعيدة جدا. أنا في الآخر في الأول وفي الآخر وده يعني ان انا اكون يعني انا يهمني كأم ان ولادي طبعا يكونوا ناجحين. لو انا هبص لها كأم مسلمة يهمني ان ولادي يكونوا على اخلاق كويسة.
So good to be the passenger. Like at the beginning I used to hate it, but now I actually quite enjoy it.
Why can't you drive?
Because I have a driving ban. I have a driving ban. It's been speeding, getting 3 points, plus 3 points, plus 3 points, till I have 15 points now. Normally you get a driving ban once you get to 12 points, but I've exceeded that. I went to 15. An Egyptian trying to drive in England.
I was just about to say
It's not a great idea.
It's not a good combination.
It's not a good combination. I drive well in the city though. All my points were in the motorways. Today is one of these days where you feel like it's the tournament is approaching and the stress of the tournament is starting to hit you. From the morning when I woke up today, I started feeling, you know, that feeling you get when that feeling that I get whenever I have the morning of a final, for example, where my stomach and my core is feeling a bit weird, you know. That's all this kind of feeling, you get all this kind of feeling on the morning of finals. But when I'm here in Bristol, you know, I'm okay with being vulnerable to my team, to the people I'm close to, and I think it's a very important part of an athlete to know when to be vulnerable and who to be vulnerable around. And today was definitely one of those days that I felt definitely vulnerable emotionally.
The persona that people see on the court is this, you know, the Beast of Alexandria, and he likes to give off a very, you know, macho kind of persona, which yeah, he is, but he's also probably one of the kindest, most giving people I've actually met, to be honest. And it is a shame that not everyone gets to experience and see that side of him.
I think anybody in any industry that's trying to be successful at a really high level, it tends to bring with it these kind of compromises that have to be made, sometimes quite ruthless decisions with people close to them, friends, family, and so on.
Am I allowed to honestly say what I thought of him before I knew him? I mean, you could ask any of the other girls that I played with. I thought he was a wanker, to be honest. I was like, he's so arrogant, he's, you know, just the person I saw I didn't like.
It took quite a while, actually, I would say, for me to understand him, a long time, because he is quite reserved, doesn't give much away, and my experience, I suppose, is you really have to earn it with him.
I just thought, dickhead. Honestly, I really thought, what a dickhead. The thing with Mo is that sometimes he's a bit misunderstood and can come across a little harsh, but he's just very honest. And I think, you know, on those days when you're maybe feeling a little bit unmotivated or whatever, he's the kind of person that will just tell you and push you along. And, you know, you don't always have the luxury of having someone around who's so honest. I know a lot of other male players that wouldn't even walk on the court with some females to train with. He trains with anybody. Literally anybody that comes here, he'll approach them to train with them, you know, and I think that's a really nice thing about this area to train in as a whole, that no one is made to feel less than anyone else. Everyone is like this here.
I'd actually say that consistent hunger from someone like Mo is unparalleled from anyone I've ever met. There's, you know, considering he's been at the top for so long, there's still that ferocious desire to dominate, not just win a few things, but to absolutely dominate.
I think that's probably the biggest thing that I've learnt from him is, to just like believe in yourself and don't let other people put you in a place that they think you should be, where you think you should be. Have the courage to go after it.
I think it becomes fairly clear when somebody loses that fire, maybe. I think the fire is still very, very strong. So for those reasons, we get all the pieces of the puzzle right. I still see he has the potential to be back at the best player in the world and continue to win. And I don't think the age is a limitation at all, being 30. I think there's still time.
In terms of me, about the way I think about my mentality, there is 31 losers and there is one winner. For me, I would rather be the winner, And the worst part is losing the final, because you're the first loser. You're the first out of them, That's for me. I would rather lose first round than losing finals. It's not about who is the most clever. It's not about who is the tallest. It's not about who is the smallest. It's not about who is the fastest. The king of the jungle is the lion, and he doesn't have any of these qualities. Actually, he's not the tallest. He's not the shortest. He's not the fastest, right? But he's the king of the jungle. Why is he the king of the jungle? Because he's the most relentless. He's the most brave out of all of them. And for me to be the lion of this jungle, I cannot show any sign of weakness, no matter what. You're gonna tell me life is more than just a squash match? There are things that are much more important than the sport. I will tell you that squash has been my life all my life.
Quarter-final match. Mohamed El Shorbagy of Egypt to serve.
I was with Hadrian talking, had a lot of discussion with him how much I felt vulnerable. Haven't had a win for a while because I couldn't compete in Egypt last year, so it did prevent me from having a chance to win big trophies.
Typical Mohamed style, getting his revenge over Joel Makin from the loss in the Black Ball Open in March.
Mentally I was struggling, I felt weak. I don't have the best track record in Egypt. Things always feel a lot of things can mess up with me mentally whenever I play in Egypt as well. And I knew once I'm in the zone I was going to be unstoppable. Because I always think it's a sign of strength when you're open about how weak you feel instead of just keeping it to yourself. So I was completely open and honest about it to Hadrian, and we got it sorted, and we knew the plan and we knew what we needed to do.
He's been furious of not being able to have a go at the world #1 spot again, and these are valuable points for him if he can clock up a championship win.
All I wanted to do last night was to send out a big message to all my opponents, to all my rivals. I'm getting closer to that world #1 spot for the 5th time in my career. I'm on my way to it. I think if I was Ali Farag last night, I would have definitely put my squash shoes on and just went straight to the squash court to train, to be honest, if I were him. So let's see, I'm coming for him, and let's see how strong he's gonna survive with me this season.
Played 164 tournaments, reached 65 finals, and won 43 titles. He's former world #1. Please welcome from Egypt, world #2, the Beast, Mohamed El Shorbagy.
So that was a very interesting match. I'm the one who was too close to him and I just hit his elbow after he finished his wing. It was his shot to play. I had a choice either to go to hospital, get the stitches and then come back and carry on, or the physios did an amazing job to make me actually be able to come back on court and be able to just finish the match. After the match, I went to hospital, got 5 stitches. The doctors told me it's gonna have a bit of swelling tomorrow, but honestly, not playing is not even an option for me. Tomorrow I'm playing Ali
It's a match I haven't played him in such a long time. So excited to get on court with him. These are the matches I live for. Even if I'm gonna have to play with one eye tomorrow, I will play the match and I will try to put myself into position, the best position of trying to win the match. So yeah, so I just took the tape off because I need to put a cream on it. So that's how it looks with the stitches. This is literally live after 2 hours of getting it done. But yeah, I'm just happy that it's done now. So yeah, now it's time to just rest, sleep, and get ready to play the world number 1 tomorrow.
Upcoming match is a huge battle. I think everybody will be really entertained watching every single rally. Please welcome world number 1 from Egypt, Ali Farag.
Very happy to win against Ali today. Been really looking forward for this match for such a long time. He's taken my throne while I was away last year. I've been watching him winning all these titles and it's been hard for me. Really wanted to play him again, really wanted to beat him, really wanted to show him that I'm coming for him, I'm coming for his world number 1 spot. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going back with even more hunger, you know? And even though that we both didn't play very well, it doesn't really matter sometimes. What matters is who wins the last point, and that's exactly what I did.
You see what this elbow? I didn't do anything. I played my shot. That is a no left. That is a throw. He is completely fine. He is fine. He is fine. There is nothing wrong. I played my shot. Focus. That is a no left.
Video ref decision about Farag's appeal.
He does take one in the chin there.
Not many players would have came back this morning and came back tonight without a practice in the morning, without recovery work last night, having 5 stitches in their eyes and coming back to play the world number 1 the next day and beat him. So something I'm proud of because I'm a warrior and I know it's a freaking damn war on court.
There's the error. So Mohamed El Shabaghi books his place into his second final in the last month.
He is a world champion. He is world number 2 from Egypt. Welcome the beast, Mohamed El Shabaghi.
Mohamed El Shabaghi seems to have hit a real low period here, physically. I've never seen Mohamed El Shabaghi this fatigued. Mustafa Assal will be the second youngest, and he is the second youngest at 20 years of age. Mustafa Assal wins his first World Tour Finals, his first appearance in a World Tour Finals here in Cairo. He's the world number 12. Mohamed El Shabaghi giving him a big hug there.
I really enjoyed my time in Egypt. Actually, I kind of approached my time in Egypt a bit differently. I had to do a bit things differently in terms of how I approach it within my character as well. I think it showed in the way I played. I think I was much more relaxed on court, which is something that I'm normally not that relaxed when I play in Egypt. But I think I found a formula that works for me. Alexandria Airport here, I think it's like 1:20 a.m. or something. Flight is in an hour and a half, going to Istanbul for a quick transit, then off to the States after. Can't wait to see what's gonna happen in the World Champ. Obviously I have a big chance to go to world number 1, which is the ultimate goal. I don't need to wait for Ali not to make the final. Me being in the final already will make me be world number 1 automatically. And I think my ultimate dream is to get to the final, become world number 1, and then become world champion the day after already, securing the world number 1 spot. So I have 2 goals to achieve in the world champ. And I'm very excited for that. So yeah, let's see what's gonna happen. The world champ is the tournament so far that I'm very disappointed with my results then, I would say. I know I have won it once. I actually call that as a failure for me.
And he's done it. Ramy Ashour has become the 2012 Qatar PSA World Champion. And magnificent effort from Mohamed El Shorbagy.
I look at it as a failure so far.
He's done it! Ramy Ashour has come back from the dead to steal this World Championship.
I definitely do believe I should win it more than one time, and I believe that I still have the time to win it more than one time.
Morning. Good. Good. How long each, General?
5 seconds.
Okay.
5 to 10 seconds.
I'm coming to the World Champ with confidence. Definitely losing the final there in the World Series finals was painful. It's not easy to lose a final. I hate losing finals. Coming here to peak here, it's the main target to try and get the World Championship and the World #1 in the same time. You visualize these kind of scenarios all your career, and I have a chance to do that here. So let's see what happens, you know, and I'm really excited to what's coming. I'm in control of my own destiny in this event right now, but the dream is to make the final, to have Ali in the final and beat him and have that World #1, while I already know I already have it, playing him in the final. That's the stuff that you visualize. He's the one who took me out of the World #1, and if I'm gonna take out someone from the World #1 spot, he's gonna be him. I want him to be out of that World #1 spot. I'm basically coming to this World Champ to kick him out of the World #1 spot, if I'm honest. I have been waiting for a while for this, while I was at home in Bristol watching him play all these tournaments. I need to kick Ali out, basically, and I have no choice. And it's unlucky for him that he's the guy that I need to kick out, you know. We're both fighting for the same things here. We're both fighting for the World #1. We're both fighting for the same title. This is the first time I play a World Champ where World #1 is on the line, actually. So that's a new experience, but I'm loving it, actually. I love that I'm coming here knowing that I can grab both things together at the same time in the same month. That was before the match. I read what he said after his last match. He was trash talking me a little bit. So after the match, when we shook hands and we smiled at each other, I actually told him, I told him, Joel, I respect you a lot, but don't trash talk me again before the match. And then we just laughed it off, and it was done. But it was just funny. But I definitely, when I saw it, I was like, okay, fine. Now I need to play well today, you know.
Welcome back to the last match of today's play. Faraz Dasuki, the number 7 seed, taking on his compatriot Mohamed El Shorbagy, number 2 seed. Looking forward to this one. I really do feel the Beast is going to come out chomping.
Well, the error there from Dasuki. Well, we thought that might happen, Joey.
What's the status with England?
Well, David Campion sent me an email, but I'm still gonna have, obviously I'm still gonna have other conversations with him regarding what's gonna happen in terms of if I play for England, what they're gonna offer and stuff, because the first conversation, I wasn't too happy with it, to be honest, but I didn't say much. I just listened. If hopefully the presidency all went smooth and everything went well, I will sit down with him and have a big conversation, because whatever he was offering at that time was not good enough, definitely.
And I think if they really, really want me to play for England, this is not a chance that's going to happen every day, you know. And I'm not trying to be cocky or anything, but it's the truth, you know. They're not going to have another player like me coming again who get this opportunity to play for them. So I'm just waiting to see what happens, and the moment I get the British citizenship, I'm definitely gonna planning to have a very different conversation with him. But let's see. Right. My food from last night.
Good.
All good. I do realize how big the match is today in terms of my ranking, in terms of going back to number one. I said it before the tournament started. I'm not waiting for Ali not to make the final to be world number one. I want to do it on my own terms. I want him to keep winning. And yeah, so it's on my own terms right now. I just need to win today to get that first job done. And then the second job hopefully will be in the final when I win the World Championship. It was nice as well to go to an early practice. Practices start from 10 a.m. today. I'm going for around 8:15, so I can go there when no one is around, leave when no one is around. It's always the way to do it.
Do you like nobody seeing you at practice?
We're playing an individual sport. I like to do my own things. I think it's very important to have a presence on the tour. It's part of my game, part of my character. I like to show up when I have to show up, you know, when I need to show up, you know. I think it creates something about you. If you are always around and people always see you, then it's not the same. The presence is not the same, you know. Come on, I'm Egyptian. We break the rules. We go when the lights is red. Oh, like, why do I need more than this? I'm here by myself, alone. No one can watch me, no one can see me. I can do absolutely my own thing. With Paul, it's about, you know, it's gonna be hard physically, but if you can stay strong with him for a bit, you know you're gonna get the win at the end. So mentally today, the worry is more about getting it right because it's the same as of the World Championship, more than actually playing the player himself. He's getting better every day, and maybe it will be different in this match, but let's see.
His 13th World Championships, champion back in 2017. Let's hear it for the Beast of Alexandria, Mohamed El Shorbagy.
El Shorbagy is not only dictating play, but he's almost creating a bubble around him.
Impressive work from Mohamed El Shorbagy. Oh, this is tough.
Oh!
He's got it. That's an unbelievable get. That's very well played, though, by Shorbagy.
Starting to be more of a presence physically as well, though, on the shot.
This is very encouraging here for Cole. 6 game balls for Paul Cole to breathe more life into his World Championship campaign. So Mohamed El Shorbagy gives up the ghost. Paul Cole conducting the crowd, he's livened up. All that visualization he's been doing is now starting to activate the neurons. 2-1 lead now for Mohamed El Shorbagy.
Cole does not want to give Shorbagy anything loose through the middle of the court. Trouble, there you go.
There it is, trademark, Mohamed El Shorbagy, half volley. Well, Mohamed El Shorbagy certainly hasn't got cramp in his finger as he points to the world #1 spot, which he has achieved by this result. 3 games to 1 in this semi-final.
First objective completed, though.
First objective completed, but it was important not to celebrate too much, because if I do celebrate too much today to get the world #1, that would have been a big sign of weakness for me. Showing that was my main goal in this event, because it was one of, but the goal is to get both. I live for these moments. I live for moments where you play, the 2 best players in the world are playing against each other in a World Champ final. It doesn't get any bigger than this, and yeah, I mean, these are the kind of moments in your life that you're gonna remember for the rest of your life. Matches like these. And that's the way to do it, is to definitely beat him in the final, is to win a world champ by beating him in the final. That's definitely the way to do it. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm actually really excited, but yeah, there'll be lots at stake tomorrow, and let's see what happens.
Good luck.
Thank you. See you tomorrow.
Bye. See you tomorrow.
Thank you. It's good to be playing the world champ final. I think I'm more happy that it's me and Ali in the final, because we have been having a great rivalry for the last 3-4 years. And I think we do owe ourselves to play a world champ final together. For our rivalry. These are the kind of stuff you remember for the rest of your career. I need to make sure to cover my baldness, basically. That's what I need to make sure.
You're not doing a very good job of it.
No, I'm not. Well, my hope was always to, when my brother lost his hair at such a young age, I think it was he was 20 or 19, he kept telling me, oh, you're losing your hair, you're losing your hair. I'm like, you know what, my goal is to keep it till I'm 30. If I lose after 30, I'm fine with it after. So I'm 30 now, so if I lose it, it's okay.
Are you more excited or nervous when you wake up on a day like this?
Nervous and excited at the same time. I don't know, it's mixed emotions, but there is definitely a lot of nerves today, 100%. And that's a good thing. If I'm not nervous, then I'm not human, and I am human at the end of the day. You can't be not nervous in a day like the World Champ final. We know that when we play each other, our matches is so different to when we play any other player, you know. And it's great for the sport, but we know that we're both gonna put each other in lots of physical discomfort today, and that is completely normal. Every player had a breaking point at the end of the day, and it's about who is gonna get to that breaking point to his opponent first. At the back, you know, I can just visualize the crowd at night, or I can do whatever I want to do, you know. But when I can look at the back like that, and all the seatings are empty, it's nice, you know. It's just to feel that quietness, to have that relaxation before the final. So it is gonna be intense in the evening, for sure. You better pick up. Steffi, how are you?
Yeah, all good, thanks. Yeah, how are you doing? We had a good day?
Well, I actually slept around 11:30 last night. I switched off the phone completely, didn't look at social media at all. I just obviously replied to my parents, and that's it, really. And since I woke up, I stayed completely away from the phone. So I woke up, obviously nerves started kicking in a bit, I'm not gonna lie to you.
I can see him going on the attack and just doing whatever he can to rush you, fluster you, disrupt you.
Because I don't think he will want long rallies today, after his match yesterday. I mean, you never know, obviously, in these big matches, he can rise to the occasion and actually attack well.
Just one at a time, just ruthlessly methodical, which you've been doing really well all the way through the week. Sticking to that, of course, because, it's going to be easier to be distracted now. This is what you're doing so much better. You're so much better at this, so just keep doing it.
I'm gonna do the Djokovic way, when he stayed calm against Nadal. Just gonna stay calm.
100%.
Just gonna stay calm. Okay, thanks, Steffi.
Have a great match.
Speak to you after. Thanks. Thanks. Yeah, I'll speak to you after, Steffi.
Okay.
Thanks.
Talk to you later. Yeah,
Thanks, Steffi.
okay. See you.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.
That's it. It's just me and my opponent now. That's the only thing now. No one can help me anymore.
It's been over 20 months since we've seen the biggest event of the year, and now it's all come together once again. Farag, the world number one, taking on Mohamed El Shorbagy, the world number two.
A bit of fortune there for Mohamed El Shorbagy, but he'll take that all day long. Poor error at such a high occasion. Farag, Mohamed El Shorbagy gets the first game under his belt. He's lost his way massively here, Farag. He's lost the quality of shot.
Looked a bit lost on there. Not sure what to do to win.
It's a real mountain to climb. He's got to fight for every point here, Ali Farag. This is the World Championship final. Oh my word, he's doing some lunges. Oh,
What is he doing?
that's got to hurt. World Championship final, he's going to have to dig so deep. That's an outrageous shot. It's an outrageous shot. That took some nerve from Farag. Ali Farag takes the title here in Chicago. Absolutely fantastic, really.
Yeah, of course, feeling really disappointed and gutted. I made a mistake that is unexcusable, having the 7-love lead in the second. You cannot lose games like this in crucial matches like this. So I'm really disappointed more with myself because I should have been experienced enough to deal with that kind of situation. So he definitely deserved it and played better than me. He completely deserved it, and he had a point to prove after I got that world number 1 from him yesterday, and he responded like a champion, like I always know about him. You need to understand the art of letting go. Like, there is no way I'm gonna disappear. You can bet on it 100%. There is no way. I have learned over the years not to ever let a title affect what's next. And in 3 weeks' time, there is the British Open. I have a chance to get back at him.
Jonah Barrington, of course, 6 times winner of the British Open. The greatest squash player we've ever produced in this country. And that's it. Barrington, 6 times winner of the British Open, has come good here, and my goodness me, this crowd have appreciated that.
The Shorbagy boys are tough. Mummy may have looked after them, but they're tough.
I left Egypt, I went to England. My mom came with me the first week to England. We arrived at a train station called Castle Carry, train station out of nowhere. Jonah, that's when I met Jonah for the first time, with a big smile on his face. I shook his hand, and then from literally the first thing he told me, when you shake hands with someone, don't shake hands that soft, shake hands strong, so you show the person in front of you how strong you are, the strength in you.
And Mohammed coming in, English wasn't his second language, French was his second language. So, you know, it wasn't like he had the confidence of being able to communicate in English. It must have been bloody difficult for him at Millfield.
My real language that I came with was the language of squash. And Jonah spoke the language of squash, and that's the only language I needed someone to speak with me with.
Everything centred around the time he was spending on the squash court. He was not overly interested in school things at all. And I couldn't see the ball, he hit it so hard. I'd never had a youngster who hit the ball as hard, and he loved hitting hard. You know, he tried to obliterate the ball, and some of the balls he hit would have been unreturnable, a lot of them. Quite a lot disappeared into the tin, but it didn't make any difference. But it was obvious that he had some ability. I'd never had a junior who could hit the ball like that. Very early on, I could see that he was the most natural competitor and was driven on the court and would fight to the death.
He always treated me like a son, you know, and with everything he has ever done for me, he never expected something back. Mentally, he was the best mental coach I've ever trained under. No one understood the mental side more than him.
At the top end, when you're talking about a gladiator in the Colosseum, you know, you're talking in squash terms about those who go beyond everything.
He's coming straight here from the defeat at the World Championships where he was picked off by Ali Farag. This tournament will be a huge test for El Shabagy's mental strength.
Well, after the World Champ, definitely for a week I didn't do anything. I was really tired, mentally exhausted. When you lose a World Champ, any rounds, it hits you. The final, it will hit you more, 100%. This is a tournament where I know I will be struggling mentally with it. The mental side is the tough part. It's convincing yourself you're fine. Convincing yourself to stay positive when it's so easy to be negative. And I've always found that the best athletes in any different sport, the most thing that they're good at, they're really honest with themselves. Whether they're having a good period, a bad period. But it's important to deal with these things off court before you go on court. As I said, every athlete is different, but that's just my story, and that's how I deal with things.
Well, again, he's gone for the attack, but Makin was expecting it. He's switched on.
Oh, what a get.
Trouble. Oh, my word. There you go. What a match. Well played, you two.
Honestly, this is a tournament that has so much history in our sport. I was actually speaking to Jonah Barrington, and it actually means so much for him and a lot of the greats of the game, because this is a tournament that was and still is, like, it has so much history for us.
I actually texted Mama. I told her, Mom, I'm struggling here. I'm struggling big time. I am, when I feel empty. I feel like I have nothing in the tank. I called Jonah, and if there is someone who can prepare me mentally, it's definitely him. And told me if someone can do this, it's you. I don't care how much discomfort you have. You're the beast. You're Sharbaghi. You've been there for a very long time. You're prepared for this kind of moments. It was really good to hear his voice, and it just spoke to me about a few things regarding the world champ. I think he knew these kind of moments and how to deal with them, and he knew what I would be going through. He knows how hard it is to get back up there and have to back it up in an event like the British.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. See you guys tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
You have to go through the entire family.
You call them all after matches?
Always. Noor, my brother, my parents, and my parents are in different places now, so it's two different calls. يا بابا ازيك يا حبيبي، اخبار حضرتك ايه؟ الله يبارك فيك يا حبيبي، ربنا يخليك. اخبار حضرتك ايه؟ الحمد لله. والله كله كويس. والله كله كويس. Just mentally, I was 2 points away of losing the second round, 2 points away of losing in the quarters, and yes, squash did help, but then fitness did help, and all these things, and the confidence maybe, but then it comes down to here and there. You know what hurts me the most is the sitting on it. It's very rough, and I'm very soft.
From New Zealand, it's Superman Paul Cole. The current world number one, Mohammed El Shabaghi.
He was chasing Ali Farag like there was no tomorrow. You've got to be pretty quick to chase down the Raptor, but the Beast can turn on the speed when he needs to.
I think this first game is absolutely crucial between these two, because in the past Cole's not quite been able to get enough work into El Shabaghi in game one, and somehow he needs to extend it in this match.
Shot, good variations against Cole.
Cole will be as fresh
Play
as
will
a daisy
resume in
on
30
there.
seconds. Contrast going to be very apparent. Paul Cole wanting to extend rallies, keep it physical. Can't back off though. Out. This is quite strange. Shabaghi's 5-all in and out at the moment. Paul Cole needs to take advantage of this. 6-5. Cole. Very well. This is excellent for them. It's got Shabaghi moving.
Yeah, he's making Shabaghi do diagonals. Three very quick errors back to back from El Shabaghi. Latter stages of this game.
That's good from Paul Cole, just getting a bit of extra height on that one. Cole leads 2 games to low.
brutal rally.
Well, crowd absolutely loving that.
Can do a lot of damage to El Shabagi, that rally.
Yeah.
You can see the body language of El Shabagi.
Down. And out, 5-all.
You can see the distress.
Down.
Another error from El Shabagi here. It's unravelling very quickly, Joey.
Yeah, it's match ball. Facing 5 match balls down. Paul Cole looking for his first British Open.
11-5, match
final. He's done it.
3 games to love. 11-8, 11-7, 11-5.
Very fatigued, Mohamed El Shabagi. Superman letting out a lot of emotion there. He's kept very focused. It's a huge situation for him to take on Mohamed El Shabagi, defending champion, dethroned. 32 minutes, 3 games to love.
Mohamed El Shabagi obviously struggling with a few things out there. The drop-off was quite extreme for me there. We saw it at the World Tour Finals against Mustafa Asal, a little bit towards the end of the World Championship final. Not sure 100% what the issues are, but he's obviously dwindling a little bit with his powers.
Time to take a break and I'll see you from September. Can't wait.
Hey mate, I hope you're doing well. Just really disappointed after the British. Actually, mentally I was exhausted. Like I was really struggling mentally in the event. Yeah, I think this is the first time in my life I played, I think, 4 big events in a row where I had to peak for all of them. So I came by the British, mentally I was just gone. While during a normal season you'll have like 100k in between them where you can not switch on as much mentally, so I think it was a bit of a task at the end. Cornwall right now. I arrived here yesterday morning and yeah, I'm gonna go back tomorrow. That's about it really. Let me know what you have in your head, and honestly you can text me at any time. You know, I've only been here to the pyramids for a visit only once in my life when I was 7 years old. That's it. It's crazy actually. It's amazing how you take things for granted when you have something and you can see it all the time. It's just amazing, right? Well, in 2006 is where I met Joey Barrington here by the glass court actually, and I went to speak to him. And I had no idea that conversation was gonna end me a week later in Millfield and change my life forever, you know. So to be back here where everything really started, if I'm honest, it's great, a great feeling.
I believe in Allah, I believe in Islam, you know, and that's my own faith. I've always had that faith to make me keep going, you know, and it helped me to never go through depression in my life. It helped me through a lot of tough moments, really, you know, and I always believe that anything that happens to me is for my own good. If I don't win here, it's for my own good. If I win here, it's also for my own good, you know, but all I can do is work hard. I'm not the most religious person ever. I'm not the greatest Muslim person you're gonna meet, you know. I'm good and I'm praying and all of that, and there are some days I'm not, you know. I'm a human being and I'm not perfect.
هو الشخص عشان محدش يعني إن هو يكون يعني جود مسلم أو لأ، محدش يقدر يقول على شخص هو مسلم كويس أو مسلم وحش، لأنه الإسلام أو أي ديانة بتقوم ما بين الشخص وما بين الإله بتاع الديانة اللي هو بيؤمن بيها يعني.
I've went through ups and downs and A lot of people are like that, but that's the practice part of the religion. That's not the faith. The faith comes from the heart, you know, and in my heart, I know that anything that happens, honestly, is for my good. I always think that if God created us, why would He want anything to happen to me in my life that is not for my own good? That's the way I think.
فهو علاقته بربنا يعني هو بس اللي هيحاسب عليها. فأنا ما أقدرش خلاص في السن ده إن أنا يعني هتكلم أقول كلمة from time to time كده، بس هو كبير يعني مش هقدر أفضل على طول أتكلم زي ما كانوا صغيرين. يعني من غير أي تفكير إن هو تبقى علاقته كويسة بربنا، ده عندي رقم 1.
If I deserve one world champ title, then that's what I deserved. If I deserve 5, then that's what I deserve. I always believe that anything is done for me, it's always going to be for my own good. And I believe that if you don't get to know these reasons in life, you're going to get to know them later after you die.
Mohammed El-Shorbagy, the Beast of Alexandria, has made it very, very obvious that he wants that world #1 spot back, also wanting to become world champion. Now that didn't happen for him in Chicago. He actually blew that situation. He also had an absolute nightmare at the British Open where he fell to pieces mentally. He's never won this platinum event here in Egypt. He struggles in his own backyard. Can he win this event and can he get back on track at the age of 31 for that world #1 spot once again?
The Crown?
Yeah, did you watch it?
I have watched it, yeah.
You don't think it's slow?
It is a little bit slow.
Yeah. Mohammed and I played the final of the World Champs, the final of the British Open, final of the US Open, final of the TOC, final of Hong Kong. So we played on every single big stage around the world except for the Pyramids. I think we owed it to our rivalry to just share such a stage together on the final night. So honestly, Mohammed is a great champion. You know what he's achieved over the years make nobody not fall in love with him, even if you disagree with some of the things that he might do.
Like my brother told me yesterday, today you're gonna be like a foreigner who's trying to beat Ali in his home place. And it's so true, actually. It is very true. That's how it feels like today.
I think Mohammed has earned the respect of every single person in the sense, even for the ones who are gonna be rooting for me tonight.
I want to beat him in front of his people, you know. Yeah, we're both Egyptians, but me living in England since I was 15, you know, this is the most iconic tournament when it comes to Egypt, really.
I needed to prove to myself that I could reach the world #1, but now that I've reached it, I want to maintain it for as long as possible, but it's not a need anymore, so it releases you a bit.
I know if there is one place it will be good to beat Ali at, it's definitely tonight. It's this one, by the Pyramid.
In this men's final, looking to win his first Egyptian Open at the Pyramids. Mohammed El-Shorbagy holds off Ali Farag.
Leads 2 games to none.
Nail-biting second game.
Slightly heading over there for Mohammed El-Shorbagy.
Well, Mohammed El-Shorbagy not even returning serve. He's asking for the physio.
Derek. Is the injury genuine? Mr. Shorbagy asked for 3 minutes for self-inflicted injury.
So Ali Farag having to use a huge amount of focus and concentration as he kicks off this fourth game.
Just see how the pendulum starts to swing in the direction of Farag.
4 game balls to take this into a fifth. And Mohammed El-Shorbagy pops it into the tin, the crowd go bonkers.
2 games all.
The Beast of Alexandria is in a complete physical tangle here. He is heavily fatigued.
drop-off is massive, and it's been happening in the last few major tournaments, and there's got to be something physical going on. Still 5 championship balls, Farag. Maggie trying to put literally one last stand in. There it is, Ali Farag does it.
5.
He gets the victory over Mohamed El Shorbagy
6-11.
here at the Pyramids.
11-2. 11-6. 11-5.
It's interesting to see what is Shorbagy going to do going forward.
He got me physically. I've been having, I think, a problem physically, definitely, with my game the last few events, for sure. I called Hadrian and I told him, I think we need to look into my fitness training here. You know, something is wrong. But right now, Ali has something over me, which is his stamina. And I need to get my stamina up to his standard to be able to compete with him in finals.
Are you able to do that?
Of course. I'm not ashamed to say that, because I'm very honest with myself all the time. When something is wrong, there is something wrong. And right now, it's my physicality which is wrong, and I'm gonna improve it.
The most important thing to us to know why he lost this match. When we put our hand on the mistakes, it's okay for us. We are satisfied.
Because I'm literally leaving to San Fran in a few hours and I have to play in 4 days. How am I going to improve my physicality in 4 days? There is no way. You know something I've done all my life? I've never ever taken my runner-up trophy anywhere with me before, actually.
What do you mean, you just leave it here, or mom takes care?
I sometimes give it to any of the kids at the crowd. Or a trophy of runner-up, you don't see that trophy, right?
What have you been up to since you got here?
Well, I flew 4 hours, 5 hours after the final in Egypt. I thought whether I win or lose, I should just leave straight, get ready for the next one mentally. I love the city here. This is actually one of, if not my favorite tournament in the whole year, actually. I love it in San Fran here, definitely. I have to wait for my mom. She's staying with some friends 5 minutes from here, but she has to take her time. She's quite slow. Mama.
Hi.
Half an hour late, 30 minutes. 30 minutes, and she's talking to me and she's angry, like because
Mama,
she can't find me.
Call me.
She
Mama,
can't find me.
Just come now.
She can't find me.
Just come now. I am still in the bed. Just come now. Too much pressure all the time. Yeah.
Well, we've got Mohamed El Shorbagy, who is up against Paul Cole. Now, these guys have got an interesting last phase, with Paul Cole scoring that massive win at the British Open to take that big title now.
Big moment this. Whoa! 2 errors to end that game, Joey. Shades of nerves.
Over the last few months, it's probably the first time in his career where he's shown a consistent weakness. You always have bad days at the office. You know, sometimes in the first round, he's had a couple of vulnerable ones over the years, as we all do.
Stroke to call. Video player review, El Shebagi on the stroke decision.
Recently, there's been a couple where physically he's sort of dropped off a little bit in matches and mentally looked a little bit jaded.
US Open 2021 men's quarter-final match.
Shebagi's starting to hit it. Bit of a rough patch physically again. Shebagi's struggling out there, PJ.
Big time.
Approaching 40 minutes and Shebagi's gone.
9-4.
Again, he's bending over. No, is Shebagi, though, gone into that realm that we saw against Paul Cole? He is completely gone. He's completely gone.
It's not a good sign, is it? I mean, this will be logged by Elias.
Well, there's something not right with him. It's been the story, though, for a good few months now, PJ. You know, against these very, very top players. The problem he has is that Qatar is coming up very quickly after this event. Mohammed just shaking the hand, he's not whinging, which he's done every time he's lost these matches. Physically, he's disappeared.
As an athlete, sometimes you feel empty. You know, you feel you're hungry, but you get to a point where you have competed so many times in a row and so many matches in a row, and that you feel you get to a breaking point and you hit a wall, and from that wall, you know, everything drops. And it happened to me at the US Open against Diego, where I just didn't feel like I had any energy in me. I just felt empty, you know.
His physicality's dropped off a little bit. That was always the thing, he could steamroll people. So he's going to be a little bit more clever, think outside the box a little bit. Still, that physicality needs to be there, but maybe he's not 10 out of 10 anymore.
That's when, you know, as an athlete, your body's telling you you need to take a break.
You never rule him out, basically. You never write him off. And you know, you're talking about someone who's still 2 in the world fighting for the #1 spot, but there's been a few chinks in the last few months. Everyone's spotted it.
I was going crazy there.
Mohammed El Shebagi's made it public now that he will be playing this event and then taking 3 months off to train and work on the physicality that's been lacking in the later stages of these tournaments. Oh my goodness me, and he's lost it there.
11-9.
Well, Johnny, I have to say that, you know, obviously with not seeing the Beast that we know, but...
And hopefully we're going to see the Beast come back bigger and better than ever.
I knew to get something like that better, you need some time. So after Qatar, I thought it was more clever enough to pull out from Canary Wharf, not to play black ball in December, give myself good 10-11 weeks till the Tournament of Champions, get all the weaknesses I felt in my game the past period in check again, and get back again in the second part of the season.
Probably the last few months he's just looked a bit tired.
The season was controlling me instead of me controlling and dictating what I should be doing during my season. So I felt like I need to put full stop to that and take time off and actually dictate my season back and dictate my season again and recover and come back into it again, to be honest. I'm very confident that I'm gonna find a way to succeed in the challenge, because that's how I am as an athlete. So the next 2 months are going to be brutally trained by me, by my coaches, and by everyone in the team, because whenever we faced a challenge like that, we had to train harder than ever and work out other ways. Yesterday I had my first session with Adrian. I was actually quite aggressive with him in the session.
Honestly, I've done this with so many players.
I know, but why? Because the game is too fast for that.
I'm used to it on and off over the years, and there are times when things are just generally more intense, where he will kind of take on a certain mode, which is often quite confrontational and it's kind of abrasive.
Everyone that moves fast from here does this. Everybody that moves fast from here does this very well. They drop and go, they drop and go. Okay, and it's an area that's slow for you. And there's two reasons why it's slow. First of all, because this is a bit dominant, but also because you've got long levers, long legs, it's harder to drop. All right, but we're going to make that better, and you're going to get faster. Ali, Glad, all those guys, they go. There's a very, very quick first movement. And that is part, so all of it is a big part of it. Okay, so at least give me the credit to let let's try, all right? Make sure you try.
And I will be very hard to deal with, I know, with this kind of scenario, but unfortunately, that's always a good sign.
Kind of roll with this for a bit, and I think as he kind of settles into this and becomes more confident in what's going on forward, then it'll be easier for me to do my job better and not have situations like today where I'm kind of just basically, arguing with him. If he wants to punch me around the court, then okay. If that's what it takes, then that's what we'll do. But it's all has to go in the right direction.
My first session since Qatar. I took 10 days off after, and today is the first session with Adrian. It's important to sometimes send a message to your own team to tell them how serious the next period will be, And I need everyone in my team to be so alert the next period, because I always need them to be alert, obviously, but the next period, when you go through a bad patch, or not a patch where you're expecting what that meets your expectations, then the next period has to be brutal training-wise and very intense. Yeah, because the next 2 months were definitely, I know I'm going to be going through quite brutal training, mentally and physically especially, because I was not very happy with the last few events.
Unfortunately, it's gonna be quite hard to deal with for the people around me.
Sometimes the people close to me, they get hurt or they get upset from things I do, of course. Because at the top, at least you're going to be hard to deal with. Where I told my parents that, I told them it's too late for me to change now things and some actions that I have to take in my life, because you guys put me in a life where I don't think they understood that at the top level sometimes you gotta be that way, of course, because they were not athletes themselves. I don't know if I will ever want my kids to play sports at the top level though.
Oh really?
No, I'm not sure. I don't know, to be honest. Most of the guys who are at the top, who has learned to be there for a long time, they know how to be assholes. And I'm not sure that's what I would want for my kids one day, to be honest.
On behalf of the government of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II and Bristol City Council, we would like to welcome you all here today to the Old Council House in our great city and county of Bristol for this citizenship ceremony. This for you is the final step in a long process of becoming a British citizen, which will welcome you to this nation and into our communities. The citizenship ceremony is a rite of passage that formally welcomes those who wish to join us into full membership of the British community and into citizenship of the United Kingdom, a state built on a union of nations, beliefs, and common civic values. We are here today to extend this welcome to you and to confer the honour of citizenship upon you. Today is the day you become a citizen of Great Britain, symbolised here by the picture of our Queen, Queen Elizabeth II, and the flags of your new country. So today, you have reached the end of a long process which you have faced. Citizenship to this country brings you great freedoms and rights, and these carry with them great responsibilities. You are therefore asked to always respect law and order, value the freedom of speech, defend every person's right to their own opinion, tolerate and respect each other's beliefs, to participate in the democratic process, remembering that people fought for many years for the right to vote in this country, and now it will be your right and privilege. So for this part of the ceremony, I'm going to ask you to swear an oath to the Sovereign that you will be a faithful citizen. I will also ask you to make a formal and public pledge that you will be a loyal subject and observe the laws of this country. So, Mohammed, would you like to stand for this part? Okay, would you like to read from the card or would you like to repeat after me?
Can I do both?
Yeah, sure, of course, yes, yeah, right. That's allowed, yes. Okay. I do solemnly, sincerely and truly declare.
I do solemnly, sincerely and truly declare.
And affirm.
And affirm.
That on becoming a British citizen.
That on becoming a British citizen.
I will be faithful.
I'll be faithful.
And bear true allegiance.
And bear true allegiance.
To Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II.
To Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II.
Her heirs and successors.
Her heirs and successors.
According to the law.
According to the law.
I will give my loyalty.
I'll give my loyalty.
To the United Kingdom.
To the United Kingdom.
And respect its rights and freedoms.
And respect its rights and freedom.
I will uphold its democratic values.
I will uphold its democratic values.
I will observe its laws faithfully.
I will observe its laws faithfully.
And fulfil my duties and obligations.
And fulfil my duties and obligations.
As a British citizen.
As a British citizen.
Well done.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Okay, so we welcome you on behalf of the Queen, Parliament, and the people of the United Kingdom to British citizenship. In receiving this citizenship, you receive the right to participate fully in civic society. I will now call you to sign the Bristol Register.
Got my passport.
Now you're officially a British citizen.
Now I'm officially a British citizen. Officially. After 16 years. You guys actually don't appreciate how easy things for you guys, you know, when you guys travel and go to places, you know, and you know, when I came back from the States to England, you know, they in the immigration, you know, they didn't even check whether I had the picture inside the passport or not. Once they saw that I had the British passport, they just let me in, you know. They didn't even check I had if that passport was mine or not, you know. That's how easy it was, you know. I've had discussions with English Squash, obviously. We've had a lot of secret meetings in Bristol, and at the end of the day, no matter even if I apply for England, I'm Egyptian, you know, by blood, you know. End of the day, you know, I can't change that.
هي انجلترا طبعا عملت كتير لمحمد، يعني لو احنا بنتكلم بالورقة والقلم لا انجلترا قدمت كتير قوي لمحمد بصراحة، قدمت له كل حاجة من ساعة ما كان عنده 15 سنة، يعني دخل أحسن مدرسة هناك.
My head is definitely telling me to play for England, but my heart is my emotions is hard. It's hard to just say okay I'm gonna do it tomorrow.
أنا ما أحبش، أنا اللي مخليني في الموضوع ده يعني مش مرتاحة قوي، إن أنا مش عايزاه بالنسبة له يبقى يعني ماشي أوكي يعيش في إنجلترا وكل حاجة، بس ما تبقاش مصر بالنسبة له اتقفلت، السكة دي اتقفلت يعني. لا يعني أنا يعني دي البلد اللي هو اتولد فيها وعيلته عايشة فيها.
So the plan was to announce me as a British player at the British, which I understand. They wanted me to announce it in England, playing in a tournament in England, but I told them I feel I'm rushed, and I told them I'm feeling a bit nervous about it, knowing that my first 3 events after the British will be in Egypt. My head is in England, my heart is in Egypt, 100%. I need to mentally get my mental strength back again, and it will come back because that's my strength on court, and you don't lose your strength. It will come back, and I have a very good feeling about this event. But the real question is always, will I be able to go back to world number 1 or not? The answer is I do believe I can, you know. But do I think that this is going to be one of the toughest challenges? This is one of the toughest ever challenges I've been in.
Mohamed El Shabagi's very settled in Bristol.
Down. Oh dear. Couple of sloppy errors from the Shabagi racket.
That he's made him angry, so it's kind of backfired on Kandra a little bit.
There's definitely a bit more venom about him.
If it hadn't been, it'd just been a let.
Stroke to Kandra.
He'll never get a better opportunity than this. That's hit the top of the tin. That hit the top of the tin. That was down. It hit the top of the tin. It did.
The ball is down. Down.
Did hit the top of the tin. This could be a massive upset if he does convert. It's a long way off yet, though.
This is where the high-ranked players tend to come into their own.
No left. No, the line was to the left.
You can't review it either.
Right, please don't talk to me like that, Mr. Shbaggy. Please do not talk to me like that.
Got no review.
I'm trying to explain to you the line was to the left. Mr. Shbaggy, please, I do not want to have to use conduct.
It's having a bit of a nightmare here.
You need to address me in a more respectful way.
His head's really gone there. He's saying that should have been a stroke for Kandra.
10-5, match ball.
Absolute head off here.
Down. 11-5, match to Kandra.
Absolute head off. So
3 games
Rafi
to
Kandra
2.
is the biggest win of his career. He's got a very good track record against the Shabagi family, Rafi Kandra.
After the British, I asked Joel and I asked Hadrian to come to the room. And I have not really cried many times after I lost in my career, other than maybe once or twice in my life, really, you know. And probably the last time was like 10 years ago, you know. But this time when I lost to Kandra, I came back and I was really crying. And I told them, is this it? Is this how it is? If this is how it's gonna end? Like, am I actually finished? I wanted to end a bit better than this, you know. I don't want it to end losing to Kandra first round of the British, you know. That was the first time I started to think, am I actually finished? You know, when I lost to the British. Yeah. Did I tell you I started working with Greg? No.
Gaultier has become the oldest world #1 ever at 34 years of age. That is incredible from the French general.
So I called Greg, you know, and I told Greg, you know, I know we have had lots of battles over the years. On court, you know, we had a go at each other so many times.
I think he's luring Shibagi in here. I really do. Hustle in New York.
The most cheekiest player I've ever seen in my life.
Just continue.
The most cheekiest player.
Hand out 10-6 match ball.
It's a different time now. I would love to learn from you, from your experience. If there is someone who knows me more than anyone on court, you will be one of the best people that know how I am on court.
Yeah, when he asked me if I could help him, of course, I had to take time, you know, to think first, you know.
Ball's over there, you're going into the man.
Going on court with Mohamed El Shorbagy was always a tough challenge, you know. I knew that he was like, you know, a ferocious, you know, animal. That's why we call him the Beast, you know. He was like so physical, powerful, you know. He has no fear, you know.
Greg was the best player to ever hold a squash racket in his 30s. He's the oldest world champion, the oldest world #1. So he has proven that he is the best player who been able to play consistently well in his 30s, you know, and I wanted to learn from that.
He didn't have a great season, but obviously it had to happen at some point, you know. People don't always know what's happening in your life too, what's happening, you know, how you feel mentally.
He's already told me a few things here and there that I need to change, which is very different to what I have been taught before.
It's not simple to change things, but you know, if you've been playing like a certain way all your life and it worked, and then you have to now you have to adapt. You have to first of all accept, you know, that you get older. You have to accept that you know you have to change certain things in your training, and you have to accept that your body might not respond the same, you know. Like it's what you put inside your brain that will send the right information to then your body to work properly.
You want to learn from a person like this, and to be stupid to know that he's an hour and a half flight from you and not to call him and tell him, I want you involved in my career. And that's exactly what I did, and I do hope we have a great partnership and for the next, hopefully for the rest of my career, you know.
PSA World Championships Cairo 2022.
Just when you think the French general's gone, he pops back up.
My last 3 majors, I have not even made it to the quarter. So it's a very, very different time in my career right now, where I have never experienced something like that. But at the same time, you know, I've made some changes, started working with Greg, gave me so much hunger, gave me motivational back.
Absolute power and comfort around the court. Nobody is streetwiser than the Beast.
Mohamed El Shorbagy has got through.
Good to be back, playing big matches again, later stages. So excited to play, well, really excited actually. I played against world #1s, a lot of world #1s in my life, but he's the most I'm excited to play against at the world #1. You think my mother was tense behind you? I'm doing this every time.
Ah, yeah? Because at some point you...
I got tense a bit.
Huh?
I got tense a bit.
You shouted, but to who?
I'm always fighting to you.
To me?
Honestly. Always to you. Not at you.
Yeah,
I've shouted at you so many times in my career when I played against you. Right now I'm shouting to you to shout at me back, you know?
Wow, it's amazing. We went to bed at 2:30.
What are you doing this morning? What are you doing in here?
I'm just doing some stretching, a bit of core, just to keep myself active. A bit of glute exercises. And I'm gonna just do a bit of speed stuff for like 10 minutes. Just keep myself active, keep my feet moving. And then I'm gonna hit with Gohar in the afternoon at 6 p.m. Just keep my body active. It's important. Especially, luckily my matches haven't been draining. So when your matches have been draining, it's so important to be very clever with your rest days. Actually, it's something Greg has been teaching me a lot actually. Because back in my rest days, actually back a few years ago, in my rest days, I used to sometimes take the whole day off, sometimes just go for a solo practice, switch off my body. And it was so easy after that, the next day switch on my body so quick. But now if I switch off my body now, I find it so hard to switch on my body back again. So Greg has been making me during my rest days keep active, keep going. Even in the morning, I go for quite a bit of an intense practice for like even for 15 minutes just to get the lungs going. You know, stuff like that I never used to think about. He has so much experience in this kind of stuff. No wonder he was the best ever player in his 30s. You know, because he understood that phase in your career more than anyone else, I guess. You know, so he has been teaching me a lot of stuff like that. You know, so. But you can see, you know, he's here in the gym with me, stretching with me, doing stuff with me. He's setting an example to me as well, you know. He's not just someone who's trying to teach me by talking, he's setting an example, you know, and he believes in setting an example. Like he used to tell me, like his fitness trainer, who's 50 years old now, is more ripped than any other squash player, you know. So all his team, he had a team around him that were setting an example to him as well. So he's doing the same to me, to be fair. And when you have your coach doing this, you better be motivated and keep up with him too, you know. I wish we didn't have a today, to be honest.
You want to film a real session of a real squash player now? I just warm up, so you know, easy. Then we go through the pain slowly and slowly. Build up some like that, you know, all the way to your limits.
I was just wondering if any of them in New York had said anything to you.
No, not yet. Joel, I told Joel about it 2 days ago. I told him I'm going to be playing the British National with you. They're like, fuck, that's mad. I told him because I train with him a lot as well. I don't want him to, you know from the media. I don't think actually it's respectful, you know, if I do this too, you know.
It would be kind of funny if nobody knew and then on day one of the tournament it was like, oh, I'm on the court.
Yeah, I know. I'm not sure Mauritius will be the first time I'll be under the English flag. I don't know if it will be enough time, but the World Series finals definitely. Which would be funny, playing in Egypt.
Coming back to Egypt, yeah.
I know.
Come on, Johnny, let's have a prediction from you.
It's going to be 3-2 for Cole.
Oh my goodness me, you heard it from Johnny, and Johnny does his stats, and he's 60% right usually.
Father and mother of Mohammed El Shorbagy have got front row seats.
Best of 5 games. Should be an epic battle between these two. And that is a ferocious start. He's throwing in a lot of variety. He's getting the opportunities to.
Shorbagy has played tactically the perfect first game. It's a different complexion to it now in this game because it's Cole who's asserted himself around the middle of the court.
Game
It's
to
huge.
call. That is massive, absolutely massive.
At 1-1, he'll chance his arm a little. He'll feel that it's worth to roll the dice a little bit.
Court attendance, please. Another marathon. And who is going to prevail? Mohamed El Shorbagy has been in this position so many times in his extensive career. Mohamed El Shorbagy is going to go into the front of the court and look to build a quick lead tactically.
That's gone in, that's gone in.
8-4 lead. Shorbagy's got his tail up again. Shorbagy's eyeing it up, he's eyeing it up. There we have it. Shorbagy, as his name's been chanted through the crowd, has booked himself into a 5th World Championship final, taking out the world #1.
I needed to remind everyone who I am. I went to Greg 2 months ago and I told him, you know, I want to come back to who I am again. I was not happy with how I am, and we put a plan. I have the final tomorrow. It's my 5th World Championship final. And yeah, I'm really happy to be in the final. That was his text this morning to me. I told him, if you need me, bro, in your match, sit next to you, let me know. I'll come. Good luck today. I would have never done this if I lost yesterday.
Just today.
Oh, no, he's better than me. You know, in these things, he's 10 times better than me in these things.
No, it's good. It's good to see him winning again. Yeah, it was important win. The perfect timing at the perfect tournament. You know, it's just one more. You know, one more. He has to do it.
The documentary is over. Come on, enough. Enough. Oh, actually, no. After I won, I looked at him. I told him, "You're gonna be." I thought he was gonna be world #1 after I won today. So I looked at him. You're world #1 now. Oh, I thought.
Ali won it twice. Come on.
Let it go, yani. Let it go.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people wrote Muhammad off, didn't they? I mean, just when his form started dipping, and he lost a little of his hunger, I knew Muhammad was gonna find a way, and I think Gauthier gave him that extra edge. I'm very much looking forward to tonight. Actually, I mean, it's funny because I don't know if it has to do with Farida or if it has to do with me having won it before already. I don't feel like it's a World Championships final. I'm not like, oh my God, it's another World Championship. Would be amazing to win it again in front of the home crowd, but I'm not overly desperate. I'm very excited. I think it's a good opportunity for the both of us, and but yeah, I'm not edgy as I should be probably.
parents of Mohammed El Shabagi looking quite pensive.
Start in 30 seconds.
They have every reason to be, because their son is playing in his 5th World Championship final in what has become the biggest rivalry of the last 5 years, without doubt.
And we're in to this men's World Championship final. Impressive first game. What quality score should we see? Now, he's made the error.
11-9.
He's made the error.
Shabagi.
El Shabagi subjecting himself to some awful amount of work here.
Shabagi has got an unbelievable opportunity. Now Shabagi's digging in. Digging in.
Much more of a safer element. He's hitting in general.
He's back within 1 point.
Stroke to Farag.
After all this time, starting to struggle a little bit.
Get that, no problem. Look at that.
He's cramping, he's cramping, he's got a cramp. The body is going into spasm. Monumental stuff from Mohammed El Shabagi. Oh, he's just extending it. There we have it. Ali Farag wins his 3rd World Championship title.
I have never thought about retiring in my career before, and it came in my thought after the British to retire. And then I go to Greg, and I was thinking about the month after, let's win the world champ.
Things can change quickly, you know.
That's what you kept telling me. 1 point can change everything. Not anything. 1 point.
Yeah.
Decision. Conduct warning. Mr. Shabagi, why are you addressing me? Please do not address me like that. Conduct stroke, Mr. Shabagi for descent. 10-6, match ball. I asked you to stop. I gave you the opportunity, you carried on. And if you carry on, it could be match. 10-6, match ball. Mr. Shabagi, please continue. Continue. Conduct stroke to Mr. Shabagi, 11-6. Match to call, 3 games to 2. 9-11, 11-9, 9-11, 11-1, 11-6.
I'm happy to announce that I'm really excited that I will be representing England, and I'm really excited to represent a country that have given me so much in my career.
سكواش محمد الشربجي المصنف الأول عالميا سابقا والمصنف الثالث عالميا من تمثيل مصر إلى اللعب مع إنجلترا في البطولات المقبلة.
بالسكواش محمد الشربجي.
اللاعب محمد الشربجي.
إن محمد الشربجي ما بقاش بيلعب معاها.
بطل الاسكواش محمد الشربجي.
محمد الشربجي لاعب الاسكواش.
the former world squash champion and world #1 Mohammed El Shorbagy has switched allegiance from Egypt to England. Now, he's one of the most decorated players of all time, and having lived in Britain since 2006 and gained citizenship, he says the opportunity to play under the England flag is exciting. Ranked 3rd in the world now, he could represent England at this summer's Commonwealth Games.
I've won so many titles playing for Egypt, you know, and I feel like I owe it to this country and to England to try and win titles for them, playing under the English flag, for everything they have done for me. And I would like to win another world champ for them. I would like to come back to world #1 under the English flag, and I'm gonna, obviously it's not easy to do this, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna give it every blood and sweat to do this, and I'm gonna give it everything I can to do it.
We helped him with his passport. There was no conditions attached to that. It was very much, you know, we'll help you, Mohammed, and, you know, endorse his application and help support that, or that whole process. Because he's kind of really been a part of the British culture for such a long time, really, and he's every right to be a British player. We'll see how the relationship unfolds. I mean, it's all quite new to both of us. Okay, he's coming into what you'd call his twilight years. He's 31. You know, he's played squash in a certain way for most of his life. You know, the physical side of things, you know, the Beast of Alexandria, or the Beast of Bristol now.
I don't think many understand that decision switching to England, how much it took out of me. It was such an emotional decision. It was the biggest decision of my life. And then Greg told me, I think you need to make a decision whether you're going to do it or not. And I think it will surprise you how much lighter you'll feel on court, how much lighter you feel in life.
I mean, I've always seen it a possibility, but I've always refuted it. I've always said that I don't think Mohammed will do it. But then when he told me an hour before our World Champs final.
Do you agree with it?
No. For me, there is nothing that would make me do it.
I'm not bored that when I go back to Egypt, people will boo me, because it's not going to be the first time. But at least when I used to get booed before, I had no support behind me. This time, if I get booed when I come back, I'm going to have people in England supporting me. I'm going to have some support. I'm going to have England Squash behind me. You know what I told my mother after I signed the contract with England Squash? I told her, now I feel like I have bodyguards behind me, that they're going to protect me. I was very nervous going back, definitely. I didn't know what was going to happen after everything that's been happening for the past 2-3 weeks. But in terms of the comments of the general public in Egypt, I would say most of the comments, like 95% of the comments, were actually more in favor of what I did, which surprised me, actually. Coming back to Egypt, you know, my first time playing for England in Egypt, I didn't know what to expect at all. Yesterday I was very, very nervous playing my first match. Very, very nervous, actually.
England versus Egypt in this next match. From England, it is the world #3, the Beast, Mohammed El Shorbagy!
A bit of security has travelled with him.
Because of the crowd, I just didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know if I was going to get booed or if people were going to support me. I just didn't know, to be honest.
A lovely warm reception when you came in as well, now playing in your home from home, of course, representing England, but that must have been a nice feeling to get such a nice warm welcome back here in Egypt.
I'll just say that in Arabic. عاوز اشكر كل الناس اللي جت تشجعني النهارده. انتوا مش عارفين بجد، يمكن النهارده كان من النهارده بالذات كان يوم من اهم ايام حياتي، ان انتوا تيجوا النهارده تشجعوني. انتوا مش فاهمين، انا اليوم ده هفتكره لغايه طول حياتي. شكرا ليكم جدا، شكرا ليكم جدا. وان شاء الله ارجع العب قدامكم ان شاء الله لسنين قدام، وان شاء الله افضل احاول اكسب بطولات قدامكم. شكرا ليكم جدا.
Even after I won the match, to be fair, you know how they chanted my name and stuff. I actually, there were a lot of moments in the match I was really emotional, but I was trying to really keep myself together. I was trying to hide all these emotions, I was really fighting a tough battle within myself during the match. It meant a lot to me. It really, really meant a lot to me. Yesterday was probably one of the most important days of my career.
محمد يا كابتن شرباجي مبروك يا حبيبي، ألف مبروك. وراك ما تخافش.
It's very emotional. It's really emotional. Yeah, for me, yeah. I didn't expect that, and it was so much worrying today about that. But it's very emotional for me and for all the family.
Mohamed El-Shorbagy, who got great reception yesterday. Everyone was unsure what kind of reception he would get here in Cairo, but I have to say it was very positive.
To win this title in Egypt will be huge for me, 100%. And I have so much motivation to try and win here, 100%, of course. I'm trying to win here because I want to win for England squash right now. I feel like there is a lot of Egyptians that see the life through me, the struggles that I went through, you know, during my career. And I was ready for whatever gonna happen, because when I make the decision, I'm convinced this is the right decision. You know, that's why it takes me time when I make big decisions in my life, and that's probably the biggest decision of my life. I'm living with it, and I'm glad I made it. I'm a small example of many people, many young people in my age that would love to get the same opportunity, and if they get the same opportunity, they will do it, because they're not finding their own future at home. I don't think many understand that decision switching to England, how much it took out of me. It was such an emotional decision. It was the biggest decision of my life. Ali definitely had my number in a lot of the big finals this year. There are times where you're controlling things, and there are times where you're being controlled.
He's motivated for so many reasons, that he's found his mojo back, that he's got goatee, that he's changed his nationality. It does excite me, it does worry me, it does do all the normal feelings that any athlete would go through when they see their rivals or their peers doing better. And it's not just any peer, it's the biggest rival of my career and the biggest player of our generation. So when you know that he's gonna rise up to the challenge, it excites you definitely, because it means that you're gonna work harder, which excites you. Mohamed, I will never be able to say that I've got his number.
You got to be honest with yourself and see why he dominated you and why he has been hurting you more than other years. He obviously found weaknesses in my game. He found a formula where he can beat me. Like mentally, I'm definitely ready for it. If you asked me that question 3-4 months ago, I was ready to retire. You know, because I was in a really, really bad place. I'm back wanting to compete again, and I can't wait. Mentally, I'm 100% ready for it. But the challenges are much harder this time, and I know that, and I have to be honest with myself. But I have Greg behind me right now, and I really trust in what he's given me. It hasn't been a great season for me, for sure. I think I showed so much emotion during the season. I know that once emotion gets involved, your face is full of weaknesses that opponents can read you. They can get a lot of weaknesses out of you. Right now, I feel like I'm back to be playing good again. I feel like I'm back in the mix to being a big contender to win big titles. And yeah, I think my opponents know that I'm back now again playing well. I want to come back and win another world championship. I really want to come back to world number one. I still believe I have it in me to come back to world number one. And so I'm not trying to prove anyone wrong. I've won everything in the sport. No one will ever take that away from me, no matter what.